Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Weekly DLC. I'm one of your hosts, Krosh, joined always by my co-hosts, Daniel Vargas and Daniel Jang.
How did the cards?
If you're not familiar with us, we're closed on Sundays, but we come to you every Monday. Two podcasting services of your choice. We usually sit around a table, inside, outside, by the beach, by the ocean. You hear that waterfall. We have a new location.
Today, we're brought to you by Friendship.
Get some.
Get some. Use code, please be my friend.
Yeah, we're sponsored. Just so letting you know, Friendship. We got an exclusive sponsorship with Friendship. Get those codes. Huh?
What's the promo code?
Please be my friend.
20.
PLZ
20.
BMY number 4.
Use that code. Share with a friend. Friendship.
You have to share with 20 friends before you can use the code. Friendship. Please be my friend 20.
It's a pyramid scheme.
Yeah. Do it.
But we're sponsored though, so.
All right. With that, let's talk about what we're gonna do what we've done in the week. Then we'll get into topics.
And then what we're gonna do in the week.
And what we're gonna do in the week. I want to hear. That's a news segment. Vargas, what have you been up to this week?
I beat Borderlands 3.
Ooh.
I didn't realize how far away from the ending I was.
I passed you.
You did. So you were behind me, and when the next time we met up, you're like, I beat it. I'm like, oh, I must not have that far away. And I was like playing it over there. I'm like, all right, can you finish already, please? This is really long. And he just kept going.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It was okay.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. I was trying to beat it just so I can have that end game content, but I'm not even playing that. Right now the Halloween stuff is going on. I'm just like, oh, whatever. I bought Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
On mobile?
Yeah, on mobile.
It's free.
What? It was $100. No, I bought it on PS4. So I've been playing it a little bit.
Crossplay?
Terrible. Yeah, I have it on.
Oh, Crossplay's on?
Yeah.
So if I got it on PC.
On PC, yeah, we could play together. I already connected with a friend on PC.
Fuck.
I mean,
God damn.
my kill death ratio is 2.0 right now, so I'm just saying.
You're killing it? It's good?
No, I mean, in the beginning I was doing horrible, but I've gotten used to it again. I did it, so...
Are you playing multiplayer only or story or what?
I did story, and then I played a little bit of multiplayer. I did. I've never done this before. I usually don't mess with the settings. Every time I played a first-person shooter, I always play with whatever default settings they gave me.
Uh-huh.
But it had 16 different downloads on PS4. It has you have to download part 1 and part 2 of the story mode. You have to download multiplayer. You have to download all the special ops stuff.
All digital, or did you have?
Yeah, it was all digital.
Okay.
So it's telling me to download all these different things, and multiplayer you can play once multiplayer is downloaded.
Okay.
So once that finished, I can turn on the game. I turn on the game, and it's you can't play special ops or you can't play single player until everything's downloaded. And I'm like, oh my god, dude. So then I was just like, I'll wait for it, and I started looking into the settings, and I upped the sensitivity on a lot of things. I was like, I'm going to be competing with some PC players, so I upped it up. And so my first try was with this higher sensitivity, and it felt natural. It felt good. It felt like I'm used to it. So hopefully I get used to this and not get used to slower settings and be all slow and stuff like that. So that's good. Yeah, and I've been having some good times with it.
It's fun?
Yeah, it's really hectic. It's not what I remember. I remember last time I could just run out in the middle of nowhere and be fine. And in this one, before I even run, I'm already getting shot at.
I heard time to kill is really short, and it's very Battlefield in some way. I mean, just from what I've seen, I don't know if you can corroborate this or not. It seems like the scale of a multiplayer match is larger, and there's just so much more going on.
I would say it is scaled up more, but it's nowhere near
a Battlefield game?
Battlefield map. Okay. Dude, there are times where you'll go sniping and you'll never see someone the whole match.
In Battlefield.
In Battlefield.
Yeah.
And in this one, no, you just scope and you'll already see someone.
Okay.
You're fine. And then what else did I do? I guess that's it really. I mean, I fixed my bike. I think last time I said that.
Tire?
Yeah, flat tire. I fixed it. Rode it on Monday. Didn't ride it today because my car battery I know was dying, and I ended up buying a new one and replacing it. So I got that out of the way. So
nice.
Back to riding my bike.
Cool.
After this. So yeah, that's it. That's all I got. On to you, John.
Tetris. Tit.
Luigi?
Tit for tat.
Yeah. Waluigi.
I'm not gonna win.
Did the skin. Played some Killer Queen Black with one friend. If we had a full team, we were destroying it. But I know that since we don't have a full team, we can't go econ. So we were only doing military.
I saw you guys lose to econ.
I mean, but we won most of the time. But yeah, Killer Queen.
Can you matchmake?
So, dude, what's crazy is no one's really playing that game. So we're cycling through the same people, and I found out because I was hearing some guy. So we can't voice chat unless you have the app. Some guy, we're playing against PC players. So there's it's crossplay.
Oh,
so that kind of makes sense because I did stream. I mean, I played with a big streamer, Miss Do It Big. I was like, oh, I don't think she has it on the Switch, and she's on PC.
How do you know because you said through some guy you found out you're playing?
Because some guy was in my team saying, oh yeah, my keyboard keeps on messing up. I was like, huh? Nani? Keyboard?
Nani? So so you have to download an app on Switch.
No, on your phone, right?
Yeah, phone.
But
it's a Nintendo app.
Yeah. It's the Nintendo
and that
Switch
works
app.
through
Which is
with
funny.
PC microphone.
Yeah, because I was talking to my friend, it tells you the button. Right bumper is push to talk. So I've been, hello, can you guys hear me? And we realized they can't hear us. You need the fucking app or some shit. Because I was we were thinking, where the fuck is the mic?
Yeah.
First of all, the mic is probably on the Switch if there was one.
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
don't think there's a mic on the Switch.
It's like dock.
Hello. Hell, so I've been trying to talk to people for the longest. Hello, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
It's fun. Killer Queen is gonna die out.
I think it's more of a couch. It thrives in couch co-op or arcade scenes. Would you agree?
I agree.
Yeah. So you're saying to just so I understand, you can matchmake.
Yes.
It just doesn't play well when you do because of the player pool.
It's all right. There's just a lot of bots.
Oh, so it fills in with bots when you
Yeah.
go off? I see.
Yeah.
Okay. So what else? Anything else?
And then
Did you make a kid quit though?
no, I'm not a bully.
When you were going through, when you went through your videos that one night, I was watching you. You were like, "Oh, we're gonna do it on stream," and it was the clip of you and this this is the kid.
Yeah, I had to make my indicate video that I'm never gonna make, but the kid was there, and it shows you strategizing. I was like, oh, he's doing pro plays right now, pro plays.
Making kid quits.
But and I've been streaming really obscure games
Obscura
Tower Tangle Tower.
Is that a new game?
That's a new game
on Switch.
on Switch.
I think I
PC.
saw it at Indiecade. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just.
It could have been. It's pretty much. I haven't played a point and click in such a long time.
But you beat it.
I beat it last night.
Good?
And it's really good.
But can you go to the stone circle, please?
No. There's two puzzles that I feel were kind of it's kind of not a good puzzle, but all the other puzzles were pretty good. The writing's good. Voice acting is good. I think the last time I played a point and click was 20 years ago. Hero's Quest.
What about Telltale?
I've never played any of the Telltale.
You haven't played Walking Dead?
Mm-mm.
Dude. It's good.
Too bad that company went
Nani?
under. It was just
So this Halloween, I was gonna play Pikmin 2. I don't know why. I just need something to fill the time for Death Stranding. I think I'm gonna play Grim Fandango because I never played it. And it's a point and click. I think
What about is Psychonauts kind of horror?
that's a platformer, but I don't think it's a horror game.
Okay.
It's not a horror game. But
it's a soap opera drama.
Grim Fandango, and I played the alpha of Carry On, which was
On Switch or Steam or what?
Steam,
Okay.
and it's good. It feels good.
Wait,
Nice.
of what? I didn't hear the
Carry
name.
On,
Carry on.
I think it was on
the Devolver Digital.
Devolver Digital's
Oh.
E3 thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like this blob that would be in the thing or something, and you're going through with
It's
your
reverse
tentacles. and
horror. So you're the monster, and you're scaring the people and
Yeah.
eating
Nice.
the people. So, looking forward to that. Release date 2020.
Is it like Dead Cells where it's the full game's out? Sort of. What kind of game is it? Roguelike? What?
No, it's like Katamari Damacy meets fucking, I don't know. It's weird. Katamari Damacy meets Spider-Man. I don't know.
So you
for some
grow bigger the more you eat, the further you move on.
I feel like it's like Spider-Man because you're always
So it's Katamari
Clean the
Damacy
walls.
meets Inside?
pretty much, yeah. The blob part. Spoilers. Watch Joker.
Joker?
Joaquin's Phoenix's performance, excellent. I didn't care for the movie until the last 30 minutes. The last 30 minutes were really fucking good, and I didn't think they're gonna tell other origin story. And I was like, oh wow, they did it. And I was like, I knew it hit me when it said Zorro. I was like, fuck, that's the movie that they go watch. And I was like, okay, that's pretty good.
Can we go into spoilers?
We
a
can.
little bit. All right,
Joker?
just prefacing. We're going to talk about spoilers of Joker. I want to give
came
like
out of nowhere for you.
Yeah, I'll just give a warning. What'd you guys think of the explanation
Horrible.
of the laugh?
It's good.
With the lap?
The laugh. How he like just couldn't control and he had to give his card.
I mean, he did a good job portraying the laugh, but I didn't like. I don't know. Like it was.
well, like a different take. What I mean, because
Yeah,
like
yeah,
normally
it's
it's just
a
like
medical condition.
he cackles,
Yeah,
but like this
yeah.
version, I was like,
He can't help himself, and he lasted very uncomfortable time.
to me,
moments.
it was interesting because as the more he kind of felt comfortable being the clown and the Joker
Mhm.
and stuff, the less he had that issue.
right.
And I was like, it kind of reminded me of if you guys have seen the King's Speech.
Yeah.
The more confidence he gets, the less his speech impediment happens. I was like, it kind of made me think of that a little bit.
I like. It's true. He has like that social anxiety type of thing where like when he's not comfortable, he's having the issue and he's laughing. He's in a position, and that's usually why it happens in awkward situations. Like he's just in the middle of nowhere where someone's getting like manhandled, and he starts awkwardly laughing because he doesn't want to be in the situation. But yeah, the more he becomes the Joker, the less of I guess the uncontrollable laughter, more of like his own laughter,
Yeah.
because he's just going
Yeah.
I thought
accepting it.
I thought it was cool that they used Robert De Niro in the movie because it's like Taxi Driver, and it's like kind of like
It's like Taxi Driver meets that one other, the King of Comedy. Like, because I've going into this, everyone I was seeing, it was like King of Comedy, but like Joker, King of Comedy. I'm like, it is, but it's a lot more Taxi Driver.
yeah, to put Robert De Niro is pretty smart. I was like, that's pretty smart.
Yeah, I loved one of my favorite scenes was when the two old coworkers of his stopped by his apartment.
Oh yeah.
He's like, I can't reach.
That was very tense, dude. I was like, that fool's fucking gone.
So
I was just.
you were talking about a scene, Vargas, that you wanted to leave, which because I never felt uncomfortable in the film.
So
I
there's
felt,
a scene where like the whole issue happens in the train, where the there's like three individuals.
Yeah.
And then an event happens, and he runs away from that event, and he goes back to his apartment, but he runs to that girl's room, and this is where you realize like things that have been happening haven't been happening the way he sees them.
Right.
And so you get there, and there's like this awkward. There's like it's like a weird vibe that you're getting off of the film, and that's when I start realizing what's going on. And I'm like, dude, I don't know what's gonna happen with like him, the mom,
Her.
and the little kid. And I was like, I don't really want to watch
When he
this.
was wet.
Yeah, and he was just sitting on the
sitting
couch.
in the couch.
Yeah,
Arthur, you need to
that
leave.
was I was
Yeah.
like,
I
don't-
thought so when I was watching it. I thought it was probably him smothering the mom, his mom. I thought it was
what the
that
scene? That made me a little uncomfortable. I think just his general way made me unsettled. I wouldn't say uncomfortable, but unsettled. I was like,
It makes me want to have. It reminded me of The Wire, but not as good.
okay,
Like where the system fails fucking people, and I feel like the system failed him.
yeah.
And I was like, damn, dude, a Gotham City Wire type of show would be kind of cool. It's just like
Every time there was the Gotham comic, I think it was just Gotham or something, and it was like Renee Montoya, Harvey Bullock, all these other cops and stuff, and they like in that show it was like a lot mostly from the cop side, but you get some of the villains,
Yeah.
but with dealing only with the cops. And like when you're in the down and dirty with the cops, they always look as whenever Jim has to go turn on the light, it's like a shame for them because it's like we can't do our job. For the good cops, at least.
Right,
There's
right,
so
yeah.
much corruption and all this other shit. But it was like very much like a cop show. And yeah, I agree. I was like, if they got wire level treatment for Gotham police and the criminals and stuff, it'd be cool. It's good.
I kind of wish. I don't know if they do this in the comics, but you know, Batman's trying to clean up the city. Does Bruce Wayne ever try to clean up the city through philanthropy? Like,
I think
just
in
feel
when the only time I remember, he might have in his thousands of issues of comics, but the only time I remember was when Grant Morrison was writing it, when Batman Incorporated happened. And what they made, it started with this idea that Bruce Wayne has partnered with Batman to commercialize Batman as a brand. And like he's like, we're going to be in all parts of the world. I'm going to use Wayne Enterprises to like really enforce like cleaning up everything. That was the only time I remember them, but it was very high level. It never went into the details of it.
But most, like, other than that, though, that's, like, one specific story. But in general, like, Bruce doesn't really do much, right? Like, it's always just
It's
Batman.
never been said.
He's just...
I don't think so.
Obviously, Bruce is,
He
like,
probably
the
does
undercover.
donations, or Wayne Enterprises does like corporate
Yeah.
backings of things, but never like
They never
we're gonna
explain it,
really
yeah.
like try to put all of our energy into, like kind of how like Stark Industries changed. I don't think they've ever did a big story where that's
Yeah.
a thing. But
Yeah. I like his transformation. I was like, that's a really crazy. And then just like his portrayal of mental illness, I was like, fuck, dude, that's kind of fucked, man. Like, I only have negative thoughts. I was like, God damn,
the
dude.
Notebook, like just reading through it, like because there's parts where he's like looking for something, and you could like look at some of this stuff. I was like, shit, like it's intense. But one of the things that I was like, this, I know it's a comic book character in a comic movie, but it felt that was like second to everything else. Like the Bruce stuff and the stuff you're talking about, how it ties to other things, was there to remind me that it was that. But I was like, this could have just been like a guy and his, sad story and all this stuff. I was like,
I like Thomas Wayne when he talks about any guy with a mask has some problems. I was like, oh, oops. F in the chat.
Oofs in the chat.
Shit.
yeah.
God
Anything else?
damn. I didn't watch Watchmen.
Neither
you watch
did I.
it? Oh, okay.
I might try to watch it tonight. We'll see.
Oh, I've been reading
What?
October Country, Ray Bradbury. Only every October I want to read it and I never finish it. I don't think I'm gonna. I'm not on track.
Keeping
to
the
finish.
tradition.
Yeah, but I mean, dude, there's a story called it's like the poker chip of Mr. Something, and it's so like, spoilers. It's so fucked. It's like this dude. He's a nobody, but like rich people like him, and like they like him because he's like an idiot. And so like this guy craves attention, so he loves it, And then they start to like kind of not pay attention to him. He starts doing crazy shit like chop off his fingers. And then they start paying attention. He gets a gold finger. He takes out his eye, puts a fake eye. And then they start to give him attention. Cuts off his leg, puts a wooden leg. And I'm just like, it's like a big metaphor of people will do crazy shit to be accepted. I'm just like, fuck, this story is fucked. Like,
Damn.
and I was just like, God damn.
It's tense.
Yeah. October Country. Ray Bradbury.
Okay. I watched Stuber,
Oh.
the Dave Bautista, and I forget his name.
Kumali Nanjiani.
Kamali, yeah. He's in Silicon Valley and a few other things as well.
He's a Uber driver.
Yeah. His name is Stu, and he's the Uber driver. And they're like Stuber. The comedy was good. It was good chemistry between the two, Dave Bautista and Kamali. Not too long of a movie. We redboxed it. It was pretty fun. What else did I do? Been mostly Halloween stuff. Oh, I went to Disneyland. They had like the
Oogie Boogie.
Oogie Boogie Bash. It was fucking hot. We originally were like, we're gonna do the Oogie Boogie Bash, and next day we're gonna do it all day Disneyland. And thank God we didn't, because we realized that it was like a heat wave that week, and we're like, should we? And we decided, and we were like, can we change the day? And I looked at the tickets. We have like a year to use these tickets for Disneyland. So I was like, let's just do Oogie Boogie. And
Today
the
would've
next
been
day we
perfect.
were just like lazy as fuck.
Today wasn't hot at all.
I know. This week I was like, of all fucking. But we were so tired from the night prior. We're like, I would have, like, if I got tickets for Disneyland, I would have wanted to wake up at dawn all day,
Yeah.
all this stuff. So, yeah, the Oogie Boogie stuff was fun. A lot of people dressed up. Halloween. We got a fuck ton of candy.
Halloweeny.
Yeah.
Oh wait, so they offered candy there?
So the part of the Oogie Boogie Bash is, I'm not hitting the spacebar. Is at 6 o'clock they kick everyone that doesn't have this specific wristband, which is a separate ticket from a regular California Adventure ticket.
And you had it.
And we got these back in like April.
Okay.
with the intention of doing it for our anniversary. And so we were like, oh, let's go do this. So they kick everyone else out, and we're in there, and we have like giant bags. They give you like tiny ones, and you're like, nah, you're an amateur hour. We bring our own bags, like totes, and there's like
Just
8 or
trick-or-treating.
9 stations throughout all of California Adventure.
Comic-Con bags.
Yeah. Some people had like, because their costumes were like burglars, they had money bags, and they just were walking away with like 8 or 9 of them. I was like, that's smart. That looks cool. But like you go through these trails, and like Oogie Boogie was somewhere, Maleficent was somewhere else in these trails, and like there's 9 candy stations in each one, and you just like open your bag, they toss a bunch of shit in there, and you do like 8 or 9 in one trail, 8 or 9 in another.
Is it the Maleficent that's on Twitter trending? Have you seen videos of her? There's a really good Maleficent in Disney actress.
There was a couple of duplicates for some, because some of them had to be in the parade while also being in the thing. I don't know if it was her, but I'll check. It was well done. Like the decorations they do is very like detailed, and like they go into the minutiae.
When I was young, so my mom works there. She's worked there for
California
pretty much
Adventure?
my whole life. Disney in general.
Oh, okay, cool.
She worked at Disney.
Nice.
She works at the Disney California hotel. Since it had opened up, they like transferred over to that one. But I remember when I was really young, she got us to go trick or treating inside Disneyland, the original Disneyland, and
That's where it used to be, this Oogie Boogie
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
I think last year when we heard our friends doing
so
it.
it wasn't like the Oogie Boogie like theme, but
Okay.
it was like just like trick or treating in Disneyland.
Okay.
And I remember, dude, like they gave out like crazy ass stuff. They gave me like. I had the Lion King soundtrack that they gave me. I had like the Aladdin soundtrack. I had like crazy glass mugs that like they probably charged like $25 for.
Wow.
Like these were all given like as a trick or treat
That's
like
crazy.
item. And so at some point they gave me like a glow in the dark pillowcase that was the 3 Dewey, Huey, and Louie.
Oh,
They were like dressed in like a thing, and like their whole costume part was a glow in the dark point. And it was like the sickest thing. And at
DuckTales.
some point when I got that, I was like, this is my bag. And I started using that as a bag. And dude, like they gave out like whole like gummy bear tarantulas. And
Jesus.
it was the crazy. I remember as a kid, I was like, I want to do this for the rest of my life, dude. Like I want to go every year and do this. But it's like expensive, and it's really difficult to get tickets, even for employees, because they have a set amount for employees, and then the rest of them are given to anyone who wants to buy those tickets. And even at the time, they weren't cheap. So now I assume they're still not cheap. Like, so I don't know. But I remember having a great time. I still have that pillowcase because I
Yeah.
really like that pillowcase.
When they do that, like, what time did it close? Is it like
11.
Like,
Because they were supposed to do this show in the water. It was called Villainous, and it's supposed to be really cool, but due to the winds being so high that day, and there's a lot of fire and water, they were like, we can't. They didn't do it. But there's an 8 o'clock showing, and then a 10:45 one, and after that 10:45 one, they
Closes.
tell everyone to go. We left at like 10:30. It was we were late, tired. The best part for me, 10-minute lines for everything.
wow.
I never ridden the new Guardians
what you
Tower,
did now.
and it was like the Halloween version of it. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
I still haven't ridden it.
I mean, the
you
CG
do
stuff
this?
they do. So yeah, Disney, and then I started playing Destiny. I finished the story. Or no, I did play Destiny last night. I finished the story.
How? So it
So-
was right after that, pretty much.
Yeah, and so like to go into it, it is abrupt, but I felt like it was a small it was like an episode
Yeah,
rather
yeah.
than like a Forsaken or like
But
a
the
main
way
game.
it just ends, like it doesn't tell you, like, hey, you know, on like wait for the next expansion.
I
Like,
know.
I mean, it doesn't have to be that obvious.
Yeah,
but like,
yeah.
It was just like, all right.
Yeah.
Like, all right. So what
Yeah,
next?
yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it's just open to everything else. You're like,
But
okay.
to me, I was thinking more because that pyramid is the pyramids we had seen before, and they're alluding. A lot of people are speculating that they're gonna make this thing because it's all been about like you get your powers from the light, and these pyramid ships are like the essence of darkness, and I think they're alluding to eventually like you have to pick like Horde Alliance, light, dark, and get your powers in different ways or something. I don't
Yeah.
know. That'd be cool. I played a little bit of World of Warcraft. I'm level 15.
Hey.
I got
So
some
you still have not paid for it.
No, I have a subscription.
Oh, okay.
I bought the Battle of Astaroth
Oh, okay, gotcha.
thing, and like I can do a dungeon now. I haven't done it yet, but my friend was showing me. He's like, "Hey, ride me," because he can turn into a mount.
dragon, stone dragon.
I think.
Wait, but did he say ride me?
Yeah, he's like,
If
ride
you're
me.
doing retail,
Ride me.
it's fairly like
Easy to level.
It's doing a dungeon is not difficult. Like the thing is like the way the scaling works, like literally a tank and a priest. Like if you have 2 good tanks and a priest, they can do the whole thing on their own. They don't even need anyone else there with you. So like generally like you can mess up and nothing happens.
Okay.
But if you go to like classic, it's like you
cutthroat.
can't. Yeah, you have to like if you're pulling 2 groups, you're gonna die. You're gonna wipe.
My brother and I were talking today because I told him I played, and he's like, "Yeah, I got back into classic," and I'm like, "I don't know if I like it." He's like, "Yeah, I like the growth and the feeling that you're growing, and not like the ease." And I was like, "He's like, it's so confusing." I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "I auto leveled a character straight to 120. I didn't know what was going on." I'm like, "No one would." Like, what are you talking about? Like, that's the reason why it's so confusing. He's like, I didn't like it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, if you don't play through it and like it's just you get lost with the
So
character.
I haven't used my auto boost yet. So I'm like, I'm gonna level this one so I understand how the UI and just how things work, and then I'll auto level something else if I keep playing.
It's still similar with abilities because like every class is very different. So if you auto boost a certain class, like I don't know when to use these things.
Yeah,
so you
yeah.
have to play it quite a bit.
You gotta learn to
Yeah.
get used to it. So played that. I did the Luigi's Mansion. That took like a couple hours.
You bought the game?
No, Tetris.
Skin.
The Luigi's
I was
Mansion
tripping out.
theme. Sorry, I should have specified. I like the theme. It's a good theme. And then I think that's about it. I was gonna watch some shows, but
I went to the Retro Gaming Expo.
Oh.
Let's talk about that. So damn, games have gotten cheap. Like
vintage.
So yeah, like so Final Fantasy VII Black Label. Those used to go for $120. $20. I could find them for 20.
I just realized you had asked me to borrow the whatchamacallit, Black Label
Demon Souls.
Demon Souls. I didn't even check if I had it.
Oh, I bought a red label. I bought Demon Souls Red Label, Tony Hawk 3 and 4. I will stream it. That's the goal. But Tetris was really cheap. Nintendo
Super Smash
was
Bros?
Like Super Smash Bros. Japanese version was like $40-$60, but the cover is really cool.
Yeah, after you told me about it, I was like, damn, that looks good.
But you got to pay $5 to get in. But like you find some really good deals.
Cool.
I was looking for Hulk Ultimate Destruction for PS2. I have it for Xbox.
I have it for Xbox.
I just fuck, man. I want it for PS2. I found one. It's damaged. I was like, fuck.
Did you happen to see Marvel vs. Capcom 2?
Yes.
For what system?
I seen it. I saw it for Xbox.
Okay.
I didn't see it for PS2.
I heard that one of the hardest ones to find it for is for PS3.
PS3?
Yeah. It's
seen
been
it.
removed from the online store, and I looked up physical copies, upwards of $400-$500 for the PS3 hard copy. I was like, that came out on PS3?
I saw a Silent Hill 2 sealed for $400.
Oh,
What game is really expensive and I have? God Hand. It's like fucking A. I was like, why is
Wow.
this so expensive? Like I was like, that thing has gone up.
Ico, Black Label.
No, cheap. Cheapanese.
Cheapanese. All right, you guys want to get into topics?
Let's do it.
All right, start with...
So Blizzcon is
Right.
a decent week, and someone's gonna cosplay for freedom for America. Yours
for
truly. What's your predictions? Like, what are they gonna announce?
Have you guys seen the leaks?
I saw two.
Should we preface things with those?
Yeah, Overwatch 2
Yes.
and
Diablo 4?
4. Yeah.
There was a World of Warcraft one. They showed a new Death Knight with a hammer.
okay.
And it's called like Shadowlands.
Oh, so for World of Warcraft specifically.
Retail expansion.
Okay.
They showed like one of the pictures that I saw leaked was it would look like the Death Knight from Lich King, but instead of a sword and ice, it was like volcano with a hammer.
Oh, okay.
I was like, that looks kind of cool. I'm looking forward to the
Yeah,
cinematic just because Blizzard level stuff. Diablo 4, besides the name, do you guys know anything about it?
I don't.
See, this is the part, we can get into speculation. I'll go into it later. But Overwatch 2, they said might be more PvE.
So, rewind it back.
Okay.
Overwatch 2, is that like a Fortnite Chapter 2, or is it a new game?
So
Overwatch
people
2?
are saying like it's
There's a
it's
screenshot.
not a standard sequel. Like it's not like it's moving on from like what it was to what it is now. So it's like going to be like it's almost its own thing. It's kind of what I'm hearing. But it makes sense if it's like still within the same story like arc or like the whole idea of the world, but it goes PvP route.
PvE
Or PvE.
So like the screenshot I saw was like Tracer, and it showed like a bunch of her abilities, and it says like level 2 unlock this one, level 4 unlock this one, so on and so forth. So I don't know whether that means like permanent leveling, or I know MOBAs do this where like in the middle of a MOBA game,
Yeah, exactly.
as you level up, you get these abilities unlocked. So maybe they make it that way, where you can't access all the abilities at the start of a round, but more it's like as
you
you're
have the
playing
basics and you learn more and more.
throughout a match.
Yeah.
That could be something, but I do think that from what I understand, they're adding PvE elements. I don't know what they could be because they've messed with horde modes before
Yeah.
for like holidays. I don't know. Those are
gets
the
really
only
fun.
things I know they were going to do.
I saw something.
What'd
I
you
don't know if it's real.
Go for it.
Warcraft 3 mastered.
That was last year.
Reforged. It's already.
Was that really last year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've already pre-ordered it.
Yeah, it's already. I think
They haven't done a release of
So-
it, so it might be like we're releasing
I was
it.
watching a Lyric, and he had the title World of Warcraft Reforged. And I'm like, this is already out? And I think he was playing like the original World of Warcraft 3.
Warcraft 3, not
Or
World of Warcraft.
Yeah, sorry. It's the
Damn,
World of
Warcraft
It's
2.
the World of Warcraft.
We
But
skipped
Warcraft 3.
2, we go to 3.
Yeah, last year
yeah.
they announced like Warcraft 3 is being remastered. A lot of like visual upgrades, all this stuff. Map
HD.
editor.
So if it's Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4, I could care less. I played Diablo 3 and did not like it.
So my only speculation, this one is very heavily like just not based on anything, but I think they were like, what if it's not a typical Diablo looter where you're like top down clicking? What if it's more like a first person or third person over the shoulder? I don't think a first person would be good for Diablo
No,
just
no,
because
no.
of the types of abilities, but I could
person.
see it being a third person, like
Dude,
over the
I
shoulder.
could see that. That would be interesting.
What do you think? Does that entice you in any way?
I don't know. I think it's speculation. I still think it's
I
gonna
know,
be over
but,
the
like,
top.
you thi- Do you think it would
top-down
draw
view.
people in if they did do that?
I think if they change the style, like, dude, if they go from like the way it is now to like a world of Diablo, like, it'd be insane. Like having hero classes and like there's a world
It'd be
involved.
so hectic.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the idea is like obviously the way World of Warcraft plays doesn't play the way Warcraft 3 plays.
I think it would be cool. I think they could do an in between because Diablo isn't fully an MMORPG, but like games like Destiny and Borderlands have learned a lot from it
Yeah.
because of its looting and stuff. So I could see it being like load into this map and just run around, do quests and stuff, and it being top down or whatever. And you run into like instead of like anyone like World of Warcraft level, like how many people can be in a server? Like hundreds?
World of Warcraft. I don't know. It's a lot.
It's more than it could be more than
Yeah.
okay. So I'm thinking more like a Destiny or something where you run into people, but it's like maybe in the 10 or 20.
Yeah, 10 and 20.
That could be interesting.
I mean, there are like if you create a world in Diablo, you can have up to 4 people. I think in that world, you can invite them or they can randomly join if you have it open in public. So yeah, maybe expanding it to having more people, like 5 to 10 people in there, I think would be
Did
really
these
cool.
get leaked or were they like? How did these get announced?
So the Diablo thing, the only thing I know about Diablo was that
was like a-
artwork was leaked.
It was
because
like a
of
German
like a,
art. It was a German advertising thing that mentioned it.
Yeah,
and
like a
showed it.
retailer.
Yeah,
like, oh, we put the page up too soon for like Diablo 4 artwork.
and then
Overwatch was
themselves, I think, on their
someone in-
store.
something. Oh, the BlizzCon, the merchandise store.
Yeah, the merchandise store.
The
had,
only problem is like these leaks water the announcement down. Like I feel like it doesn't have much more impact. Like during.
I think for me, I mean, we're all kind of in the thick of gaming sphere. So I think for me, I was thinking, okay, with all this stuff happening with the protests and the bad press, they're gonna be like throwing big names out.
Yeah.
I don't know what they'd be mentioning about them. Maybe it's just a trailer.
even earlier than normal.
Yeah,
Like
maybe
if they
it's
still
just
have,
a
like,
logo.
2 years out, 3 years
So
out.
I think I'm less shocked or surprised by the games that will be present, and more. I think I'm hoping more out of like the actual details. Like if they say something surprising about Diablo 4, like a factor or something, then I'll be like, whoa.
Like the style, then maybe the gameplay, because we don't know anything other than there's gonna
Or
be
like-
mention of it more than likely.
You know, some crazy announcement like partnering with Fortnite or partnering with like Kojima or like some like that kind of stuff. That's where I'm like, holy shit, you got me still. I hope that's what they do. I think like a lot of marketing, if it's just like the name of the event itself, then I'm like, that's shallow level surprises.
If they're trying to like mitigate the damage about this China thing, they have to go with either like a brand new IP, like this type of announcement. I think like this will overshadow anything that's happened with like Hong Kong. Like it'll just, people would be like, because it's already being forgotten, to be honest with you. People are already like, there's like less talk about it. It might reignite.
Not in Reddit.
No,
Not in
obviously.
Reddit land.
There are pools where like it's very, it's still very, but like I think if you go on Twitter in general, I don't think it's as prominent as it was before.
I would argue that yes, you're partially right. I think BlizzCon will be the second crescendo. Like
Yes.
it peaked
That's-
earlier.
okay,
I think it's gonna die. It died down, and it's gonna. Everyone's waiting to see what happens at BlizzCon.
Exactly.
And then after BlizzCon, I don't know what's gonna happen.
That's what I feel like. If they play it right, it won't be a crescendo. It'll be just like it flatlines at that point. Or if they do wrong, it crescendos and it's like shoots up again. Like F Blizzard, F everything about them.
I think not new IP, but they gotta like release StarCraft 3 or Warcraft 4. Like
So that's what I was gonna go with. So it's either a new IP or like any of these games that they already have, like a completely different play style, like new game for it. So like Diablo 4 would be like, it's not over the top anymore. It's like a first person. Like
what if they bring back StarCraft Ghost, first person shooter? That would be kind of cool.
I still have. I may have had a Game Informer where that was like the top
The cover?
story. Yeah.
So I know the biggest thing is whatchamacallit, the like the Fortnite. What type of game is that? Like the
Battle Royale.
Royale?
yeah, Battle Royale. What if they do like
A Battle Royale?
Diablo
I'm down.
4?
I'm down. Anything Battle Royale that they make, I'm
Diablo
down.
4
Blizzard
Battle
level
Royale. So if they do like, what if
I'm down.
a Diablo Battle Royale
Okay.
where you choose any of the heroes that they have there and you
Drop
just go
in.
out. Yeah, you drop in.
In the hell? Where we dropping boys? 9th ring of hell. 7th ring of hell.
I'm down.
They have to do something crazy with like the game
Okay.
style of
That's a
certain
good
IP
game
they already
style.
have.
The other game style, I mean, I don't think this would make everyone go crazy. It would make me like lose my shit. StarCraft, turn-based RPG like Advance Wars or Final Fantasy
shit.
Tactics.
I'm down. I'm down for
I
it.
don't think they'll do it because StarCraft is so competitive, real-time ADS, all that shit. But I would fucking lose my shit.
I mean, they can make a side game. Like maybe they re-announced the Ghost, but this time it's going to be, instead of being the first-person shooter, it's the RTS
I'm
essentially.
telling you, Hearthstone Battle Royale.
The cards? How do the cards?
Catches on fire and you immediately die.
I think roguelite would be interesting. I don't know what game,
They can choose
Branch.
like characters they have, like Goblin.
like Heroes of the Storm
Yeah.
style. Maybe. I think they like Blizzard is all in on this competitive stuff.
Yes.
Maybe. Oh, dude, what if it's a fighting game?
Because
League of Legends just came out with a
I
fucking
know.
fighting game.
Right.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're coming out with a first-person shooter.
But it's
Okay.
not out yet, right?
Hold
Yeah, they
it.
have a
Okay,
first-person
hold on.
shooter, like a
Dota.
card game.
Is that Liga or Dota?
No, it's League.
Right.
Yeah, right. Yeah, League has it, and they have a new anime coming out on like Apple or
my
Netflix or some
God,
shit.
dude.
I think Blizzard has
drop.
to make a fighting game, make a battle royale.
What if they make a fighting game with everyone from the Blizzard universe?
Yeah, it's like Smash. Like they. Oh my god! And what's his name from Smash Bros? The creator.
Sakura.
Sakura's like.
And one more.
Like
One
two
more
controllers just
announcement. One
fighting
more
people?
announcement.
Do you think? I know they only recently started talking about this, where it's like take any of our Blizzard characters, Sakurai. What if it's like a ploy that he's already been working on it, and they're like they announce a Smash character? Would you rather take that, or would you rather them make their own fighting?
Make
game?
their own fighting game.
Damn.
What kind of fighting game would you want?
2D
Like Street Fighter or like
No, I want
DBZ.
Mortal Kombat. Fucking
I
gore
want
as
Street
shit.
Fighter physics, but Guilty Gear graphic cartoon.
oh okay sprites
Yes, Street Fighter physics.
1v1s or like 3v3 like where you
I would
pick
do
three
MVC
fighters.
like I would do like 3 people, just full hectic, like fluid
NPC
motion
assists.
fighting, like assists. Kerrigan just fucking OP.
I
and
could
shit.
see them doing Mortal Kombat style.
Super move, battle cruise, operational, and like
Yeah, all these would be fatalities.
battle cruise operational. Dude.
Finish him.
SCV good to go.
I want
sir.
a fighting game now from Blizzard.
Heal. SCV good to go, sir.
But I think a new IP, which I don't think is happening, because like, dude, every time they like plan a new IP, they had one code named Titan. They cancel it, and then we got like Overwatch. They had like another one, they canceled it, and we had like a different game.
They got to
come out.
bring that shit back because they're in hot water.
So yeah, every time they announce a new IP or like there's rumor of a new IP, it gets canceled, and then like they're like, no, this is out instead.
I mean, usually you can tell if you look at their job posting, they're always asking for like certain jobs, like in
There's a high turnaround there.
yeah, and also like feature things that they're working on.
Yeah,
Like
that too. I'm trying to think of other games I would. Fighting game.
what's something that Blizzard.
Or if they have like straight up like gameplay already, like they have a demo you can play there of like Overwatch 2 or something.
Dude, if they could make a battle royale, but like Heroes of New Earth, somehow make that work.
Heroes of New Earth?
Heroes
Heroes of the Storm?
Heroes of the Storm. Is it?
yeah,
The MOBA that they have?
which
Right.
is I don't know.
If they could somehow do that with battle royale.
Damn, that's
Like
funny that you
top
brought up
down.
Heroes of New Earth. Like that, what happened to that game, dude?
What is that game?
That was like another like a Dota type
Oh,
tower.
okay.
And it was like, dude, it was neck and neck with all these games, and it's gone. Like you've never heard of it now at this point. It's funny.
Do you think they would do anything Switch exclusive?
No, not
like,
exclusive.
Like, you know how...
Especially not after what happened with Overwatch.
Oh, what happened?
And then never like after
Oh,
the
the
whole
launch of it?
after the whole event, like
Hong
the
Kong.
launch, Nintendo never even like announced it was out. Like it was just out.
Well, no, they said we're canceling our launch party because of...
Yeah, but like social media wise, they
Oh,
never
yeah,
tweeted
yeah.
anything
They
out.
usually
like,
advertise.
like
new
they straight up
games.
canceled everything about the
Cancel
launch.
Okay, I think Microsoft could make a play. They've been making plays like crazy. Do you think they could do any
Mixer.
kind of...
Come out with a streaming service. Blizzard.
S-Fan is now exclusive on Mixer.
I mean, I could see maybe like if you stream our game on Mixer, like exclusive loot drops for people that own the game already, you know, kind of thing. Like they're doing that with Modern Warfare right now. Like if you link your Modern Warfare account
Yeah.
and you watch Modern Warfare on Twitch, you can get special items, and they're usually like cosmetic, like emblems and stuff like that.
Trying to think of other stuff.
You know, what'd be kind of crazy. Diablo 2 for the Switch, but I don't know if that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I mean,
That'd be a
I'm
nice-
down. For
Yeah,
that.
that'd be a nice throw.
Even though I hate Diablo,
And I go with the newest game, so Diablo 3 on the Switch would be really.
but
cool.
I heard Diablo 2 is good, so I've never played it. So
The thing is, it doesn't age well. Like if you
It's like
you've played-
Counter-Strike.
Yeah, you've played Battlefield. You played Diablo 3 on Switch. Going to
It's the
2, you're
same.
gonna be like,
no, Diablo 3.
It's gotten to a good place. It wasn't always there. I'll say that.
I think for the time, because times change. You know, like everyone like is looking for a certain type of game, and I think Diablo 2 did perfect at the time. But if you play it now, you're gonna feel like it's just like it's exactly like Diablo 3, but like with worse graphics. I don't know. I don't think it aged well. But I don't know.
The more I think that like they would go battle royale, they would go fighting games because those are competitive, and they can do it in the whole esports branding. I don't think they'll go some of these other directions because they're just so hard on this esports stuff. Now, speaking of esports, I think the protest stuff is already one challenge. I think after seeing a lot of these NBA videos where fans are hiding shirts and then they flip them up,
It's
or
gonna happen
the
indoors.
I'm like, what's gonna happen with all their
dressing up as
Just
winning.
don't stand next to these people. If someone does it and you're like, oh shit, you walk away
Don't wear
from them.
yellow and red. But
I want a fighting game now.
I'm gonna be watching Twitch, popcorn,
Hi,
like
Jag.
Crosh.
Gets like picked up and dragged out.
Oh bother!
Oh, bother.
What do you think the outside's gonna be like? Protesters?
So
or no?
I'm thinking like, you know how WonderCon is there?
Yes.
How they have
Block it off.
like gates. I think the food trucks are gonna suck because of that. Because outside of those barriers and the gate area is where the protests are going to be.
I don't know if there's going to be loud protesters. I feel like it's going to be like just protesters holding up signs.
So
Because
I
if
looked
they're
at their
loud-
pages,
Mhm.
and it describes saying they plan on dressing up as characters
Yeah.
like Maya and all these, but with Hong Kong colors.
Yeah.
Oof.
So I think they're going to be like, we're BlizzCon, but we're supporting X, Y, and Z. I don't know, because on the flip side, while on social it's been loud, part of me is also like, I looked at those event pages they set up for this, and it had like 90 people.
Naruto
But I don't.
run.
But it was one or two. I don't know how many other organizations are organizing.
Right.
Who knows?
Will you Naruto run? Free Hong Kong.
Out of the way.
All I know is I just realized they never mailed badges, and I am terrified because I hate that feeling of
Yes.
having to go pick up a badge.
Yes. Because some of it is unorganized, and
But
most of the time it's unorganized.
The other thing I learned that BlizzCon does, and I will let you guys know how the experience is they have, instead of like going in front of their merch line, you order online and then you just go pick up.
PS,
That's
PlayStation.
new, maybe? I don't remember that last time.
PlayStation.
It is now,
Are you listening?
but
I'll
I was
look
like,
at the
that's
store and I'll hit you up.
because
if
what
I
they're
want
supposed to
anything.
be like is based on certain announcements, they're gonna like update their store.
Yeah.
And that's how some of the leaks got out. Is
Gotcha.
they leaked, but then you can go in and get certain things.
Boba's already ready, dude.
Yeah, it's open.
Bye, guys.
Dude, they went out with Boba.
Yeah.
Well, but it's like
Damn, I
still
already
coming
bought
soon.
this. Fuck. Okay, next week.
I don't know if they're just.
I don't know.
testing
We
it
might
out
finish
at
before it
orders.
closed.
No, that's fine. Next week.
That's all I had for BlizzCon.
Yeah. That was the first topic, dude. That was like 10 hours already.
Shit.
Nah.
Let's just quit. Let's end it while we're on a
We
high
spent
note.
more time on the
It's
chat.
still early.
Yeah. This is when you guys normally get here.
Still early.
So, last minute change on my topic. There's been news about I guess it was an interview with like the directors of Game of Thrones, DB Wise, and
The
and
creator,
the creator,
the showrunners,
showrunners,
because they have
um,
different directors.
DB Wise and
David.
David Benioff. And they're pretty much going like, we didn't know what we were doing, like we were amateurs, we got so lucky, like blah 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 blah. And with this announcement, we've gotten news that like, you know, they were supposed to do direct Star Wars movies,
a trilogy of new
specifically.
Star Wars movies.
Yeah, and that's been canceled.
they left.
There was supposed to be I don't know if they had anything in this particularly, but there was supposed to be a prequel to Game of Thrones, one that was set like 1,000 years before these events that we watched in this season, or this specific series that came out. I don't know if they had their name on it or anything like that, but that got canceled as well. And I just speculation. Do you think these guys should have like said anything at all? Do you think they should have just kept playing like, no, we knew what we were doing, and you know, we just fucked up at the end there? Or do you think any of this is affected what's these decisions to cancel these shows? What do you guys think?
They're idiots for admitting, like, even if that was the case, you don't admit stuff like that.
Fake it till you make
Especially-
it, but then continue faking it forever.
Right. Especially if it turned out bad. If it turned out good, you can admit it. But it turned out bad, don't admit it. Don't.
What? So I have one question, and this directly affects my answer. They made a Netflix deal
Yes.
for a lot of money.
Yes.
Was that money for them, or for the value, the amount of money they have for their show?
I have no idea.
If it's for them, because I think it's in
a
the
shit
millions,
ton of money. It's like
It's a-
400 million, I think.
I will
it's
say anything after I have that much money guaranteed in my bank. I'd just be like, I'm a fucking idiot.
That's true. That's true.
I think they're on cloud nine.
I
They're
wouldn't.
like,
I still wouldn't do that though.
I would be in a different. My mind might.
I
be changed.
wouldn't be like in a mindset like I'm gonna lose this money, but I'm in a mindset like I don't want like future like
Sure.
projects of my own to be like fucked over. Like I would still think as a creative like I want to continue expressing myself. I don't want to get silenced. And like if I'm like I'm an idiot, like everyone's like I don't want to hear your
I'm
shit
not
anymore.
saying that they're not going to create. I'm just saying my willingness to share my opinion with full transparency is more open after I'm
You're safe.
I'm that safe.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can
That's
say
true.
anything.
At the time, he could just be like, I have a lot of money, and like, to be honest with you, I didn't know what I was doing.
Now
so-
everything I do is for fun.
Fuck you,
And-
money.
Yeah, you can't. I don't have to worry about a producer buying my stuff anymore. I can
Right.
just be like, I'll make it.
I mean, we did get Gemini Man. David Benioff.
He did.
He co-wrote it.
Hey, I mean, 120
Pennies.
hertz.
That's
But, I
pennies
mean,
for.
but
Anyway,
also-
that was one thought.
Even after Game of Thrones, their other show got canceled about the Civil War.
Oh right,
That shit
that
got
one
canceled.
was bad. Like after hearing, it was like, fuck. What was the premise? It was something about like
The Confederate. I don't know.
if the Confederacy won,
Yeah.
and I was like,
That in this climate, it's like, ooh.
it would be, especially with the way that the prior show ended, and then have this show happen.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a very fragile glass to walk on, eggshells. Anyway, so from what I understand, they originally made a deal with the Star Wars stuff, and then sometime after that, they made a Netflix deal for a fuck ton of money, and who knows what kind of projects. And their statement was, we don't think we could do both. We're walking away from the Star Wars one. That was a public statement. I
Right.
don't know if that really
Yeah,
happened.
like
or
what
if-
happens in the background, right?
And the problem that I have with that is they left Game of Thrones short because of the Star Wars thing. And that's what bothers
It's
me.
like a chain of and then they were like, yeah, we don't want to write. They were offering them take more time on the show, and they said no, we want to end it here. However, we ended it because
there was-
they have these other projects.
There was
I
some
know-
other controversial. He said they were trying to get rid of the fantasy elements of Game of Thrones in that interview. I was like,
Subvert expectations. Yeah.
The thing
That
is,
is-
like, I remember watching like last season and thinking like, man, these guys are like they're rushing it, and it's all because of the information we're hearing. Like, oh, they're ending it short because of the thing. It's not that they were like. I know they were still on a time crunch. Like they had a certain amount of time to like write it, didn't they? Like, no.
They
so
said
it's just
that.
just the six. It was
The
just six
they
episodes.
held the cards.
Yeah.
And
HBO
had
was
to
like-
just bend to the.
Yeah.
Like, you're making us money. Keep doing that.
Yeah.
And they're like, we want to stop this project at some point, finite.
So in a sense, the last season wasn't written quickly. It just ended quickly, because they cut it. It was half of a
Yeah, it
normal
wasn't
season.
like rushed together.
Yeah,
it was
okay.
more like, no, we want it to end
Okay.
in X number of
I remember
episodes.
thinking like it was rushed because that's how bad it was.
I think
like,
as a viewing experience, it felt
yeah,
that
it
way.
felt like that way.
So, going back to it, I'm kind of like, I was indifferent about them doing Star Wars. I know some people were like, oh, it could be cool, it could be bad, depending on how you felt on them. I'm good without them doing it, because I know there was like, currently there outside of what they have now, they have Rian Johnson doing a trilogy of an unknown Star Wars stuff, and then they had these two doing stuff. And I think Kevin Feige has recently become now like the head guy of
Jesus Christ.
Star Wars stuff. I'm like, maybe that's what they need, is some direction, because
Right.
I feel like someone posted something where it was like all these Star Wars projects with their original writers and directors, and all the reshoots, all the firings, letting goes of directors leaving, all this shit happening. It's like, I think it's a Star Wars problem more than it is a D&D problem with the Star Wars stuff. Them saying the stuff they did, and then I don't know what the Netflix thing is going to be. Netflix has made movies that I think straight up suck, but still, because there's such a high name to them and like just publicity of it, they're like, no, we had like through the roof viewerships of like these shit movies. It's like some random crap Adam Sandler movie where he plays like 8 of the characters.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, this is 2% on Rotten Tomato. It was one of their most viewed things on Netflix.
Because I think the thing is like there's like it's like, oh, it's this bad, like I gotta see it, and it's like part of a service you're already paying for. I might as well watch it. Like it's that simple. And like if you go one way, if it's like a really bad movie or if it's a really good movie, people are willing to watch it just to see what's going on in either direction. But I talking about how D&D, like they publicly was like, no, we're moving away from Star Wars. I wonder if it's also a decision where like, because they were getting a lot of shit for Game of Thrones, like the way it ended. And so people were like, they were going to do a great job in the beginning of Star Wars, but they're going to end it super shitty. And so there's already like expectation of how like things are going to turn out. And I wonder if that's just too much pressure or pressure they didn't care for. And like, we have this Netflix deal. Like, why do we even need to worry about Star Wars? Obviously, the idea of like doing Star Wars, like that's amazing. Like you can write that on your fucking repertoire and stuff like that. But I think they were just like, there's too much on that to carry it over. Like there's too much pressure, especially since what we did with fucking, or what issues that were given to us through Game of Thrones. They're probably just worried and they're just like, you know what, we're gonna cancel it. We're gonna move. We're gonna just stick with this $400 million deal that we just got. Fuck you, money.
The thing is, like, well, I don't know how the deal is, but that saying shit like that could bite you in the ass in the future. I mean, 400 is a lot of money, but people have wasted.
Yeah,
400
that's true.
million
That's very
dollars.
true.
I mean, I just feel like you shouldn't
burn bridges.
Yeah, you just can't do that. Even if it's $1 billion, like, it's just like, you never know.
I do think I saw a statement from Disney being like, we wish them well and we hope to work with them in the future. So who knows? But I think another thing that might tell us more as time passes is what their Netflix projects are. Because if it's like original creative ideas, that could tell a lot. It's like, hey, we spent so much time on adapting someone else's story.
Yeah, that's another thing too.
And this is an opportunity that we have now to really delve into ideas we have.
Yeah, because their first major work is literally adapting a book to a movie.
And it's won so many Emmys. So I mean, you could be right where they were worried about this pressure and feedback, but I think that, at the time, they were like, what are you going to do the night your finale shows? Like, we're turning everything off and we're going to go drink.
They're going to get drunk.
And they were like, we're cutting out ourselves from the culture of like whatever everyone's going to tweet about, say about. So maybe they're like, I know some creative people are like, they like to know how people think, and other people are like, I don't want to see.
But
I just make the stuff.
What was going to happen? So they're like, I don't want to see.
Who knows? But I wonder if they're very much of the mindset of like, I don't want to. Like, the less I know, the better.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give them credit though for not knowing what they did for first 4 seasons. They did fucking good, and I feel like they have experience now, so maybe the Netflix shows.
Yeah, no matter what they said on the interview, dude, I think that like at least like a good half of this of Game of Thrones proves that they've done a great job.
Again, to be fair, if it was any other story, it would have been like that was some epic level stuff on TV.
Yeah.
Right.
I think the reason people are much more upset is because of the source material being so different, being so stark and all this stuff of like we are gonna be realistic in this fantasy world and tell these like real stories of gray characters, good and evil, and then ending it the way they did with how they set it up. It's like they were faithful to it and then they deviate from it.
Well, I think the reason they're faithful is because it goes up to that point. Like, there is a point where like they're like, we don't have any more source material. We have to make this stuff up at this point.
Right.
We have to like fill in the gaps.
Right. But I'm saying is that if I wasn't comparing it to that source material, if it was just another like Star Wars, I don't think of it as high level storytelling. It's just fun fantasy with lightsabers. There's great lore and cool stuff, but the movies have never been like that profound. Mm-hmm. They've been fun.
What?
They've been
Yoda's profound.
I mean, characters are profound, but I mean, like, fucking the prequels. The prequels happen.
Yeah.
But Phantom Menace is hitting somewhere in this podcast.
I had to bring it around. But, like, if they made a Star Wars movie, I was also like, they're not going to, like, blow my mind away with, like, HBO level, The Wire level kind of stuff. I was like, my expectations were different for a Star Wars project by them. That's why I was like...
Yeah. I was going to mention, because, like, they are following material, but once that ends, that, like, material ends for them, it really does feel like they were, like, they didn't even, like, did their homework and pay attention to what was going on. They're just like, okay, we got to fill in the blanks, and they just start writing random and shit. Like that's what. Yeah, that's what it felt like at the end. Like they weren't fucking closing in storylines and shit like that.
I think they knew where they had some level of what fans wanted, and instead of ignoring it like they had before, they were like, no, we're fan service, because they were like, everyone wants the Hound in the Mountain. Everyone wants the Hound in the Mountain.
Yeah.
They were like, it doesn't make any sense how they got there, but fuck, here you go.
But not only that, like, I mean, I understand the fan service, like a lot of that stuff, but like, I feel like they might have like focused too much on these things that they forgot to like close certain things off. You're like, where the fuck did this person go? Where did this person end up? Like, you're just like, it just kind of just ends with those things. Yeah,
it was like skip cutscene.
Yeah.
Fast travel.
And then like there's the running joke where the guy's like, yeah, we kind of forgot that there was dragons or some shit like that. And it's like, motherfucker.
Daenerys kind of forgot
that there's these boats, you know, that can kill dragons. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
We'll see. I mean, I definitely care less about
them,
what projects their names are attached
as
to
human beings,
than I did before.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I hear like, oh, Scorsese's attached to this project, or oh, like Jordan Peele is attached to this, or, I'm like, ooh?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't have that as much with them.
Yeah.
Not
TV wise, whatever.
But yeah,
that's my topic. You can move on to yours.
Mine's kind of a crapshoot, kind of fun. It's Halloween coming up in a few days. Podcast will be out after Halloween. I kind of wanted to go, like, if you guys were making like a slasher, like a by the books kind of like horror movie.
The hash-slinging slasher.
What would you have like the setting be, the cast be? Like, what are your main like structure elements of it? Like, I want it set in the future with like these actors in it, with this director attached. What?
I'm horrible at making stuff up.
Just say D&D. Or writing, directing.
So, sorry, was there like a specific...
So, like, what setting would you have?
80s for me, no cell phones, because I think cell phones will kill it. But if it's modern day, it would be a place like in the wilderness where there is no cell phone reception.
Okay.
Because cell phones would kill it for me.
Yeah.
I would do a futuristic, technologically enhanced utopia.
Okay.
Setting.
Do you have like a similar...
Black Mirror, huh?
Like that?
Yeah, like, so normally, like, when you think of the future, it's like a shitty rundown, like Los Angeles, you know?
Or it's like a Minority Report.
But either way, like, there's still, like, there's slums. You know,
Okay,
there's, like,
okay.
So I'm thinking, like, there's no such thing. There's no slums in like, this futuristic fantasy world of mine. I guess I'm going to delve into it. Like, you later on, you'll find out that they get rid of anything that's considered trash, including humans. Like if someone starts acting like, you know, they're just, you know, a homeless or they just, their hygiene isn't there. Like they literally just get rid of this person.
Parasite.
Off them off.
I'm thinking a lot of Parasite right now.
And then there's we've advanced so much that we've taken over like everything on Earth. There's no more like natural areas, so everything's synthetic. Like you have like a synthetic garden that looks like the Amazon, you know, like stuff like that. Everything's just all inside of a dome that they've built. So like if you want to go to nature, you go into a dome essentially. I don't know. That's as far as I got right now.
I would have it kind of be in a future, but it's like Blade Runner future.
Mm-hmm.
Like grimy,
Yeah.
like Deus Ex Machina, Ghost in a Shell kind of future. And I don't want to emphasize the social class stuff, but you can definitely tell technology options that are available to, you know, the richer are much more, you know, beneficial than they are to the poor. The poor kind of have a dependency upon the technology. And then like Repo, have you guys seen the movie Repo Man?
Yeah.
With Jude Law and Forrest Whitaker? A lot of people have to get like their organs replaced with like enhanced parts,
But they're too expensive.
but they're fucking expensive, and these guys are like debt collectors. So like whoever can't pay them has to go back.
You missed the payment. We got to take this from you. Like it's fucking in me, bro.
Yeah, and the movie. What happens in the movie is one of the collectors, some mishap happens, and he gets one, and then he's on the run. It's a pretty low, like standard movie, but it's a fun idea. I don't know where I was going with that, but like that was a similar setting for me, where it was like the dependency and like the abuse they get put through. So that would be my setting. Who creatively would you want attached to your film? I know Jinx.
Well, I mean, you're gonna say Jordan Peele, but
No, I'm gonna say Boom.
Who did
no.
Who did Gunkata? Equilibrium.
I don't remember.
Ooh.
I would
I
have
don't
that
know who did
director. Because that's kind of like a similar setting. I mean, they do have like areas that they show that are poor, because they show like a library, and they're not supposed to like learn anything from what they tell them anymore.
Yeah.
And it kind of has that vibe, like this is like a poorer or like a lesser area. But I think I would have that director. He kind of has that vision, and I throw him a lot of money, so he does a better
You know
job.
what? Let's go Bong Joon-ho, dude. Let's go.
Kurt Wimmer
There you go.
is the director of
I don't even
Equilibrium.
know who he is.
I do. Fuck this guy. He directed one of my worst fucking movies of all time,
Perfect.
Ultraviolet.
Oh shit.
I hate that movie.
See, that's what I'm worried about, because Equilibrium had that vibe. It's like if it's teeter-tottering on being like a good movie and a really bad fucking movie. And I don't know what it was that it had, you know. Obviously, like the concept, like
They
Gunkata,
had Christian Bale and Gun Katas.
yeah, I think Gunkata is kind of what like kept it afloat, like that concept. But there was something about it, so maybe I wouldn't choose that guy because he does.
It'd be
wasn't that
interesting.
great.
Yeah. So you'd have Boom. I would have. What's his name?
Who did Blade Runner?
Dennis Villeneuve.
Sorry,
The old one or-
2049.
Oh yeah.
The original one was.
Ridley Scott? No.
Yeah, Ridley Scott. No, I wouldn't have him. I would have. What's his name? Who's the guy that directed Seven?
David Fincher.
Fincher.
Oh yeah.
I kept wanting to say Lynch. It's not Lynch.
Fincher.
No, David Fincher. He like Girl with the Dragon Tattoo,
Mhm.
Seven,
Panic
like
Room.
huh?
Panic Room.
Panic Room. So many and several other movies too. He just like there's an atmosphere that I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
He
fucking
has this
love.
color saturation.
Yeah.
It's like it's just like a weird, dirty like color.
And the show Mindhunters, he's like involved with, I don't know, on a producer level, I think, very much has his touch of like just building Zodiac Killer. It's another one of his movies.
Oh wow.
So like it's just eerie.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I would go for that eerie, just constant, just like unnerving, unsettling
Mhm.
feeling. So, acting wise, who would you have attached to your like horror slasher thing? Any notable names? No names?
I'd have newcomers only because just to give them a chance.
Yeah.
Like,
Sort of like a Joss Whedon, where it's like people that fit his style, but you don't really know.
I'd have a mix. I'd have like Dave Bautista. Throw him in there. And I think about it, I'd have like Taika Waititi as my director now.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
As a
But
horror?
like zero. No. It's not
I
gonna be a
think-
horror.
No, this is for horror movies.
No, I think.
So that's my
I think
topic.
I think comedy and horror are very neck and
Yeah.
neck. So
Yeah.
I
You can
think
do a dark
timing
comedy.
is pretty similar. Comedy and horror.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd probably have it that way. Cause like, what's the Drag Me to Hell?
Oh, Sam Raimi?
That he does a fucking great
Evil
job
Dead,
of like adding
Drag Me.
like, yeah, dude. Oh my god. Maybe I'll fucking throw him on my thing. Right?
Sam Raimi?
No, but I'll do Taika.
Okay.
Taika's fucking.
He'd be interesting in doing that kind of style.
I would probably have Dave as like a supporting character,
Okay.
supporting actor. I would probably have the main character as a newcomer. Something like people don't like. They can't expect anything from this actor. Like it's because he's unknown. So I would have a newcomer for my main character.
I think I'd have people that have, like, if you look up their filmography, you're like, oh, they've been in a lot of stuff, but never the main
Oh yeah.
person. And then I would have a few people be in there as supporting roles that are like known actors, and they're very like, if you see them, you'll know them. Like, what's his name? He was the devil in Constantine, and he was the guy from Armageddon.
Yeah.
English, American
Yeah,
parts,
yeah.
Russian
Yeah,
parts, all
yeah.
made into, like that guy. Like I like those type
Yeah.
like actors where they just like they are the role. They're less like I'm Tom Cruise or whatever. Yeah, I'd have him. I'd have a few other people that like you don't see in like. I'd have like Zach Galifianakis because you just don't see some of these people in certain genre films, and it'd be really interesting to see them like in a different light.
Just do like Between Two Ferns in the movie.
Like the first time you saw Steve Carell in that wrestling one where he's the coach, that was uncomfortable. It was so crazy. That would have some of those people. I'm trying to think of some other people. Yeah, I'll think of some more. But what else? Is there any other elements you guys want to add to yours?
I want to make mine like a mockumentary, like kind of like Blair
Okay.
Witch. So it's like people will go into it thinking it's real, but it's not.
Oh, okay.
I think with mine, going off of what I was saying, like where they get rid of anything that seems like it's like of lesser quality. The whole concept is there's people that try to have that front that they are of a higher quality, but like a lot of people, like general society, will not be at that stage. Like and they're hiding it. Like they have to hide it because if they don't, like they'll be like people or like machinery that just comes by and just takes you and just like chops you up and gets rid of you because you're not part of the society that they're trying to be to look clean and everything like that. So the concept is like I guess you would follow the main person, and maybe the movie starts out like everything seems fine, and you start realizing like, and then like the main character sees someone get like removed like in a horrible way, and then you realize like this main character is also in that same predicament. Like they're not of that quality that needs to be met, but they're faking it so that they can survive essentially. So like maybe you find out by like where he technically lives. He lives like between the buildings where it's like not been like fucking painted all white and nice and everything like that. And you find out you're like, oh shit, this guy lives underground, like or he's not part of that system essentially. But the movie starts out with you thinking like everything's perfect.
I think I would start my film. The pace of the film I would want it to be tight, like not a super long film, like 2 hours, a little bit, maybe 2:15. I would have it just be like the first hour, maybe 45 minutes, hour, would be set up. It's just like you seeing this routine, the city, like everything about everything is just built, and you're getting introduced to all these characters, and like something happens at that second hour mark, or like the turn of the halfway point of the film, where it's just like spiral, and like it's just claustrophobia, unsettling,
Parasite?
and like. Well, not in that way. I feel like that one was like you're expecting something and then it drops even. This one I would have it be like this person just gets everything starts falling apart that they knew, but in ways you didn't expect and everything. And as it just keeps going, you just see them get broken down more and more as a human.
Yeah.
And like based on the type of personality and character they were, certain qualities just come out that are raw or just. And you're like, whoa. Like, I don't know, either brought to despair or brought to anger, or like it turns them into a monster or something. Like, it just brings them on that brink of like a primal kind of level. I think that would be intense because like you're just sitting there like watching, like, I don't know what's going to happen. And then all of a sudden it just keeps going. You're like, fuck. Yeah, I think that would be good.
What about you, Jay?
Any...
Mine's going to be like a mockumentary, but it's about a serial killer that kills every
Other serial killer.
10 years. So
Oh,
it's set
shit.
in the 80s, or maybe I'll set it in the 90s. Every 20 years, 90s. So then you have that feeling that it could still happen. Or every 10 years. I don't know. Fuck. Shit. So I just wanted to end where the thing is not solved and the killer's still on the loose. And just have this dread of you going home. Like, so it would have to have a scene where, I don't know, you just like, your mind plays tricks on you. Like something like opening a window, or I don't know, something that
Oh, shit.
like you don't want to do because of this movie. Like something you normally do, but you don't want to do.
Visage, the movie.
Yes. Massage. because I feel like I wanted to make it supernatural, but I feel like real life horror is just so much more like impact. For me, it's more
dude.
impactful.
Fucking Us, dude. It wasn't even like.
I mean, even like Joker, like there are people out there in the, what kind of disturbs me is there's people out there in the world like him that exists.
That just laugh uncontrollably.
Or I mean, kill.
Have
those
notebooks.
thoughts.
Yeah,
have
yeah.
those thoughts. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, that was. I don't have anything else. I thought that'd just be a fun little exercise
Yeah.
of like Halloween spirits still in the air.
If you see any of our 3 movies, just let us know.
just watch out when you close your window tonight.
Oh, I wanted to say one more thing back to the chat. I forgot to say. So you know how I've been watching Lord of the Rings, or
Yeah.
I've watched them.
Now you're watching Harry Potter.
We're watching Harry Potter, and every time I watch these fucking movies, I think of how shitty the school system is. You've read the books? You haven't seen any of the movies? You've watched the first
Yeah, like
few
first
movies?
3.
In the second book, they're like, oh shit, something kidnapped Ginny. And they're like, Gilroy, you were talking about
Ginny?
how you know where the chamber is, go prove it. I'm like, there's a fucking kid in your school that's been taken. All the faculty should be like, let's
Lockdown?
tactical,
But they're like, hey, you kid, you
go
find
prove
them.
it. Go prove it. Man up. I'm like, what the fuck is bullshit? Like, just...
It's funny how when you rewatch movies, you're able to like make up these figure out these ideas because normally you're engrossed in it. You're watching what's going on.
I mean, there are parts where I do get lost in the magic, like when they're doing Quidditch or when they're just when it's the kids.
Yeah.
But every time I look at the faculty, I'm just like,
You lazy
you guys are
pieces of
failing these children. Like Dumbledore's like, exams are canceled. I'm like, there goes their education. Bunch of idiots gonna grow up. Be
Fucking Alakazam.
And like
Murder
every
people,
year,
Alakazam.
they're like, all right, the Sorting Hat could put you in Ravenclaw, Hufflepuff,
Slytherin.
Gryffindor, or fucking Slytherin. I'm like, if you're gonna put him in the school, why are you like? That's where I'm thinking of Joker, where I'm like, the system's failing you, and everyone put in Slytherin is like, you're a piece of shit. Like all the teachers are like,
or you're evil. Like
Yeah.
I don't like how the teachers show favoritism too. It's just like you're not supposed to do that as
and
a
then
teacher. It's like,
every
it
time
happens, though.
they're like, all right, so it's like top 2 points, Ravenclaw, Slytherin by 100 points. Wait 1 minute, 9,000 points for Gryffindor. Like what the fuck? Like I'd be pissed. I would become a villain if every year they're just like, not today.
to be honest, I think also I don't know because I can't tell from the books. Are the classes? I mean, the houses like evenly distributed?
No,
Oh,
that's the
okay,
other thing
okay.
because you choose. I'm like, what if one year there's 4 kids in
Right.
Hufflepuff? They're fucked. You can't give like 4 kids can't get all the points. It's they like really emphasize
unless it's Harry Potter, Hermione, fucking Ron, and
They really emphasize like segregating things.
Yeah.
They're like, you're this, or this. That's your life. I'm like,
What's kind of crazy because like when
fucking
the
ancient-
wizards marry, they're not usually the same class. Or I mean, sometimes they are, but sometimes there's mixed. It's like
Yeah.
that's kind of weird.
They're like, oh yeah, forbidden love.
forbidden love.
Haggard, fucking the big lady.
And then the other thing was, I also got my Criterion Godzilla
I
collection.
saw, yeah, dude.
That's nice.
It is.
A
It's
lot.
like a big book.
How much was it?
Like 150, 170, 150.
Son of Godzilla. I saw it on there. Comedy, dude.
Those-
Step on his tail.
After all the Potters, it's Godzilla time, baby.
Damn.
Anyway, that was all I had. Where can people find you guys?
They can find me at the Folio everywhere, but not really.
At the last bosses everywhere.
Find me at Kuja Prime, and you can find me at the Phantom Menace
And Hong Kong.
and Hong Kong
Free Hong Kong.
and Blizzcon. Until next time, we'll
DLC.
You later.